Hello everybody. I want to talk a little bit more about what you can do with a horse that is a little bit on the hot, sensitive side, a horse that has a tendency to, make you feel like you can't use your legs, or that they are creeping behind the vertical because they're so afraid that you touch their mouth, or maybe they're not even that sensitive in their mouth and you have tried all kinds of bits to keep them sort of at bay in terms of their speed and their tempo, and also their availability to be in front of your leg. And I think a lot of it has to do with our embracing internally the ongoing imperfection that each ride has, in itself. It's just an given. We're riding, we're always having conversations with our horses about how imperfect things are and how they're not quite right and how we're too fast or too slow or this or that. And to me, it starts a lot with, saying yes to that and saying, yes, we're going to have this conversation. It's going to be ongoing. And we're going to try each ride to come up with a little bit of a different, note, a little tactic, or maybe a strategical move that will help us to look at things from a different angle. And that's kind of what I want to do with Philly today. I want to show you how you can, reroute sort of that idea that the canter is something that has to do with speed and with a tendency to possibly wanting to run off or, to be overly excited. And of course, we always have to remember that the horses, instinct tells them that when they're in the canter, they're in the flight mode. And so the number one rule is avoid straight lines when you're in that position where you don't have a real good control of your horse yet. And stay on circular shapes. And within the circular shapes, alternate between size and direction. And that is a really interesting thing that not only makes it the horse, pay more attention to you and to their own body. It doesn't make them go and glaze over and go like, oh, we're going to go and run. They're going to have to say, oh, where am I going to put my feet? Oh, I'm going to go in this direction. Oh, now we're going to do a transition. Now we're going to do a smaller circle. Now we're going to go make a smaller circle to the other side, things like that. And you have to kind of set yourself up and your horse with a little bit of a game plan and be ready to change it if it doesn't work, as I always say. And so I'm just going to show you, something that you can play with. And so you're going to start out with a sitting trot on a 20-meter circle. And as you can see, the sitting trot is already a little bit on the hasty side. So I'm going to ride a 10-meter circle right here and just say, hey, slow down. I would love a little bit more of a measured trot before I go into the next gait up. And I'm not going to say the word. But, you have to do your prep work so that you feel that you and your horse are reasonably engaged. But not in a way that it's already a hectic, too sort of disheveled kind of feeling underneath you. If it is, then put in some more walk-trot transitions. But if you have a good feeling, then you're going to ride, one of these 10-meter circles here. And always think the 10-meter circles are approximately between the quarter lines. It's always a good way to orient yourself. And then you might go into a canter, but only for half a round. And the half a round ends here, right here at the center line, and we're going to go right into a little bit of a 10-meter circle right here. And that is kind of the interruption of the expectation that we're going into a long phase of a scary runaway canter and back to trot, another 10-meter circle right here. Right? So quiet, calm breathing. I'm going to go right back up, inside leg forward and on, outside leg is back already. Half a circle, and then again, breathe out, and a little bit of a circle to the left, and you can see how she's kind of throwing a little bit her weight around, so I have to be a little bit stronger with my left leg here to keep her on that nice circle. And then we're going to go back here. One more time, a little bit of the canter, breathe out. And you have to be a little bit, quick on your own feet in terms of thinking and orchestrate your own aids accordingly. Be very clear when now it's canter. Oh, we have a little bit of a cross canter or counter canter here. So, no big deal. Breathe out. And then there's a 10-meter circle right here. So, good girl, better. You know, starting to feel a little bit more fluid, and you don't have to do this many transitions and this many repetitions. I'm just showing you as we're working through our own little set here how things are starting to feel a little bit better, and when they do, she's going to get a break, and we're going to breathe out and long rein and walk, and we say, very well done, good girl, Philly. And so you do that as much or as little as you can in the beginning. It might just be 1 or 2 repetitions, or you might just do, half a circle of canter and then the inward circle or the outward circle, and go back to the trot sooner, and only have maybe 1/2 circle of canter in this whole mix. So you can mix and match according to your horse's distractibility, his attention span, the adrenaline and the stress level that comes up, and less is more. I'd rather have you do it like on a few different days in a consecutive order throughout the week, and maybe just do 1 or 2 or 3 repetitions, and then to each side you change and have a little walk break, do it to the other side, and say to your horse, hey, this is where we're at right now. And you could take inventory and say, oh, this is still too early for that. Then we're going to go back to walk trot exercises. And always think the less canter you do in the beginning, the better. There's this misconception a lot of times that people think that they just have to ride through it and the horse will calm down. The longer, the harder they ride the canter. And with a hot, sensitive horse, it is my experience after a lifelong, experience of riding, that is not going to work. It's just not going to work. Adrenaline is going to build. Horses will get hotter and hotter, and then you're going to both end up in a less than pleasant situation. Anyway, talking and talking. Hope this was helpful. Food for thought at least. And thank you for watching. Thank you, Philly, and happy riding. Good girl.